Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the program. It's just making sure all the audio is working, all is good. There we go. So I'm standing just in the shadow. If I back up here, I'm going to get blasted out of the sun, so allow me to stay in the shadow here as we deal with a breezy day, very hot and sunny. It's getting a little cooler in Arizona, but I want to talk about a few different things today. The first video I'm going to do today in this location, probably a different location for next video, is the ETFs. Now, we've had the ETFs come for Bitcoin. They started in January. See a lot of influx, a lot of Bitcoin heading that direction. We can debate whether that's good or bad for Bitcoin, but I want to talk about other ETFs. We've had the Ethereum ETF get launched a few months ago. It's been lukewarm, but now there's a new filing for Litecoin. Now, as some of you probably know, I used to be known as LitecoinLeader. That I'm sunsetting that ID because, quite frankly, not a lot of people Google or search for Litecoin. So I just decided to go with the economic prepper. So we moved on with that. But I think it's Canary is the company. Correct me if in the comments if I'm incorrect or put the link to it. I will try to remember to put that link in the description. But Canary Holdings, I believe, is the name of the company, and they just filed paperwork. I don't know what the form is for the SEC, but they filed for starting an ETF for Litecoin. Now, is this good or bad? Is this good or bad for crypto? Is it good or bad for Litecoin? I think obviously it's good for Litecoin because now we're going to see a lot more demand for Litecoin. We have Grayscale that's already had a Litecoin fund. We have other companies that have had holdings for Litecoin, but now this is going to attract more attention to Litecoin. And as Bitcoin gets harder to gather, it's going to be harder to attain. You could see if you check the metrics of how much Bitcoin is on the online exchanges, how much they have. We've reached an all-time low. So with ETFs gobbling up, last I checked, around 10,000 a day, and we only produce 450 a day. You can do the quick math there. It's over 20 times the amount per day is what the ETFs are consuming. So eventually that's going to run dry, except for the miners, and the miners don't want to sell. So that's going to lead to, like, what other projects can you buy? That's when Ethereum might take off. That's when maybe a Solana ETF might take off. But Litecoin is on the table now. Now, for those of you who are unaware what Litecoin is like, let me run it down real quick. It was created by Charlie Lee a couple years after Bitcoin. It just crossed its 13th anniversary, which is one of the oldest cryptos around, or ever, actually. I think Bitcoin started, let's see, October of 2008. The white paper would be Halloween. It would be 16 years for Bitcoin. So you only have 2.5, 3 years difference between the existence of Bitcoin and the existence of Litecoin. So Litecoin's been around for a while. It's basically a carbon copy of Bitcoin, except for a factor of four times as many coins. So instead of 21 million, there's 84 million. 4 times as fast. You have the blocks that have roughly 2.5 minutes instead of every 10 minutes. But the halvings are still every 4 years. So it's about the same kind of, I think the next Litecoin halving would probably be in about 2.5 years. So Litecoin's kind of fallen out of favor. It used to be in the top 10 of coins, and now it's barely in the top. It's holding on to the top 100, but it's not got a lot of traction because people don't see the utility for it, don't see the use case, which is a means of exchange. But in the future, this is down the road, okay? Bitcoin gets harder to attain, and it's stored away as a store of value. You don't use it for spending. You use other currencies, other cryptocurrencies for your day-to-day transaction, buying coffee or buying lunch or whatever. This is where other altcoins would step in, like Litecoin, like Bitcoin Cash, like a few others that are out there that are similar. Litecoin is proof of work. It's very similar. It does have some privacy features. They've added a feature called Mimblewimble to make it more private. But the point of this video is to talk about that, but a little bit about altcoins and a little bit about the ETF. So the ETF, wind is picking up here. We'll see how much I can stay up in this location. Altcoins are a niche of a niche. Okay, so Bitcoin is a niche, right? Like those of you who are watching this probably already know about Bitcoin, probably already know about crypto. But you guys, if you go on crypto Twitter, if you go on Nostr, if you go on certain areas, Bitcoin is the top topic on crypto, pretty much always will be, okay? But in financial circles, Bitcoin's still a relatively small player. The numbers vary from 1% to 10% of who holds crypto, and usually that's a Bitcoin holder. So the number of addresses is small, but think of Well, the way I like to think of it is like, think of a football stadium. Okay, we've all been inside of a football stadium for a concert, a game, something at one point in our lives. The largest ones that are out there, like in Mexico City or University of Michigan, can hold about 100,000 people. So just imagine this huge arena full of 100,000 people. Now, let's just take 10% of that, okay? It will be conservative. Let's say 5 to 10% of that is like 5 to 10,000 people. So now you say from 100,000, now we're down to 5 to 10. Now for every altcoin out there, you might have, that 5 to 10,000 is your crypto window out of all the users. So now you've gone down by 5 or 10%. So now keep picturing that stadium. Now you're down to like maybe a couple sections in the stadium. Now, for a particular altcoin that of interest, even if it's a big one like Ethereum or Cardano or a Litecoin, you might get 5% of that 5%. So let's just go with that 10% number as earlier, going up higher, 10,000 people, and we go 5% of that. 5% of 10,000, well, 10% would be 1,000. 5% is 500 people. So 500 people in a football stadium that holds 100,000. Now you're talking about one section, maybe even like one section in the bottom area. Like 500 people is like maybe 20 rows by 20 rows of 25 people. It's not that. You're talking about, about 5 or 6 busloads of people. Maybe 10. I'd probably do the math a little wrong there, but you get my point. It's like you're talking about a niche of a niche. So if you're saying there's 1 million crypto people out there, there's probably numbers are probably higher than that. Say 10 million people. You're talking, take 5% of that, and those are the people that are interested in any given altcoin, and that's the high end. So the reason that altcoins get interest, the reason they go up in value, the reason that they gain value, the price goes up, which everybody is striving for in a lot of these markets. Like, it's one thing to love the project and support it, but if you want that price to go up, you need other people to come along and buy in more than sell out. So that's why you need to attract users and people. But when you're a niche of a niche, you're really like addressing a small audience inside of a small audience. Okay, so 500 people out of 100,000 to think of, and like now you're looking at basically, the two teams on the sidelines, maybe twice that, and plus the band inside the entire football stadium. It's not a lot of people, and a lot of them are already in and just hodling and holding on and waiting for that price to go up. But for that price to go up, more people, more capital has to come in. So you have to have a reason for people to buy in, a driving force. Full circle now, did the weave there. Now back to the ETF. The ETF of Litecoin is going to create a driver for people to go get it. So now, like, if they can't get Bitcoin, they can't get Ethereum, they want to diversify, they want to be exposed to crypto, they have an option of getting into Litecoin. So funds will come in, money will come out of the stock market, money will come out of family offices and such, and head towards other options. And maybe they want to be in crypto and diversify. So maybe they'll put 80% into Bitcoin and 20% into the other ETFs that are out there, maybe even some MicroStrategies, which is another way to play the crypto market. But you're still playing Bitcoin. So if you want to diversify, have exposure to crypto, but be diverse across that, you have to look at the ETFs that are available. And there's only two other, right now there's only one, which is Ethereum. Solana has been talked about, XRP has been talked about. Now Litecoin's on the table. It's actually happening. They're going to be launching it. And it's a pretty stable, not a stable coin, but pretty stable project that's been out there for 13 years and should gain a lot of traction. So what are your thoughts on the Litecoin ETF? I'll put the link down in the description again from Canary about what they filed. I saw it on Twitter. I should be able to find the following as well. I think Altcoin Daily talked about it as well. What are your thoughts about these altcoin ETFs? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do there projects you want to see that get ETFs? Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video, probably from a different, less windy location. Take care.